So we will be seeing how we can implement this MS Microsoft Excel, what are descriptive statistics tools, formulas, etc. that we saw, how we can implement it in MS Excel. For the time being, because when we get questions and all, we will be getting like 10, 20 points and all. So you should try to do it manually to get an idea of how these things work. But when your data set is more, you need not like do it manually every day. You can make use of some tools. So Microsoft Office has an integrated spreadsheet with it, which is called Microsoft Excel. So basically, we have different spreadsheets like Microsoft Excel is there. Then if you go for open source tools, we have LibreOffice kind of things. And if you want to do it online, that Microsoft itself provides Office 365 or something. So if you see, it has basically a set of rows and columns. And the rows are numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till okay, some 65,000 up to that something is there. Then the columns are actually alphabetical order. Yeah, Amrita, you can do these things in Jupyter Notebook also, but that will require you to know a little bit of Python also, Pandas also. So that since we have not that covered, we will not cover it now. Once we cover Pandas module in our session, after that we will see how it can be done in Python also. It can be done in Jupyter Notebook also, no issue. So Excel is just like an alternate tool. So once we are doing something in data science, we should be familiar with whatever tools, because Excel and all is something that is very handy. You can directly use it, whatever functionality it provides. So I'll proceed. So basically columns are numbered as A, B, C, D, E, F like that till Z. So after Z it is numbered as A, B, A, C like that. Then after A is Z it will be again numbered as B, A, B, B like that. So we will not be using that directly because we have some options to copy paste and all. So basically I can enter in each intersection of a row and column is called a cell. So in like values 1, 3, what cell I want, I can enter some values. So what we do with those values, I will tell. So basically that values can be numeric or I can enter string. So based on that corresponding actions I can do. So now I will just write a simple example and compute the mean, median, etc. so that you can be familiar with the Excel thing. So suppose my data is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is the mean of this data? What is the mean of this data? Yeah, or should I make the example simple? Okay, I will just make it simple. Okay, it is already simple. Okay, actually. So basically mean is what? Sum of the data divided. Yeah. Mean of the data is not 5. Mean of the data is 3 actually. Because if you sum all these 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15 divided by total number of points 5. Hence the mean is 3. Similarly, median is the middle point that divides the data into two parts. So here total number, odd number of integers we are having 5. So 5 plus 1 by 2, that is 6 by 2 is 3. So the median is 3. Then we cannot find a mode here because all values are occurring once. So if I want a mode, it will be like all values are mode only or no values are mode that way. Then similarly standard deviation error I can find manually. So I am not going into that. Okay, we will just write whatever table that she showed there. We will just try to implement that here. So I know that my mean is 3, right? My mean is 3. So then I will try to compute xi minus mean that she did in that thing. So basically 1 minus 3, 2 minus 3, 3 minus 3, 4 minus 3 and all I want to. For that I can use actually what is called a formulas. So in writing formulas, basically I have to put an equal to sign followed by what is the operation that I want to implement. So here the operation that I want to implement is actually this 1 minus 3. So that cell corresponding to A3, I have to from that I have to subtract the cell corresponding to B2. So I just have to click whatever cell I want and I just have to put the operator in between. So I enter select this cell, then I enter a minus sign and then I select this cell. Then I put enter. So then I got 1 minus 3 minus 2. Right. Then similarly I can do this thing A4 minus this thing. So that there I got -1. Now I can actually type it on all 5 entries, but there is actually some other tool, like if you copy this, select these 2 columns using Shift and bring your pointer to this, you can see a square here, small green square. If you bring there, you can see that your cursor actually changes into a plus sign. So once it comes and you drag it down, then actually the formula will get copied. So if you can see, but one issue came here. Like I wanted 3 minus 3 0 here, but actually what came is 450. So this is what happens when I copy formula. So A4, if you can see here, it is A4 minus B2. It is as I expected. But here, if you see, it is A5 minus B4. But I wanted B2 here. So basically what Excel does is when I copy paste formulas like this, it will go on incrementing the number reference. So that is why I got this thing. But what I want here is like 3, this B2 itself I want. So either I can manually correct in these 3 formulas as B2, or I can use like a something called a dollar sign here. So dollar tells the Excel that this value is constant. I want this value only in all the subsequent computations. Don't change that. So once I put dollar there and then I copy again, I got correctly. So this is what the X minus mean that we computed here. Now I will try to compute a standard deviation here. Right. Then what we want? We want the square of all these. So there I can actually put the cell raised to 2. So 2 square. That way I can again copy paste all the rows. So -1 square 1, 0 square 0, 1 square, like that. Then what I want? Now I want to add all these together, right? So I will use a function called, when you put equal to and put you actually type in letters, Excel will tell you what are the formulas which are already existing. That is the built-in functions which are already defined in Excel. So if you see, I already have a sum. So this is, otherwise I could have typed this equal to, that way I will show first. So I can write like this one plus this one plus this one plus this one plus this one, and I can enter. So that is one way. But suppose you have 100 entries or 1000 entries, that is difficult, right? So Excel provides you with a like convenience function called sum. So where you just need to select this much. So once you select this much, the C3 to C7 will automatically come. Then you have to close your bracket and enter. I got the same 10. Now I got what? Sum of X minus mean, the whole square I got. Now I want to divide it by n. So I need to get the count of this data. So for that there is a function called count. So I can count how many data points I am having. So again for this I will do the same way. Then it will tell me that I have 5 data points. Now I want to find sigma X minus mean square divided by n. So for that I will do equal to 10 by 5. Then I need to find square root of this, right, to get the standard deviation. So I can either use the square root function, or I can again like exponent that raised to 0.5 I can do. So once I get 1.414. So 1.414 is the standard deviation corresponding to this data, which is having mean 3. So now we did everything like the same as what we did manually. Now actually there is something better that we can do in this case. Like all these, there are predefined functions in Excel. So I am just deleting all this. So this is my data. Then I will try to find all these. I will try to find mean, median. Then I will go in order. Q1. Then Q2 is median, right? Q2 median. Then Q3 mode. Then standard deviation or variance. Standard deviation. So all these I will try to, and even rearrange things. Min, max. Then even if we have not seen that, but okay, our quartiles we already covered. Then some maybe percentile also we will cover. Percentile. Then maybe there is something called kurtosis and skewness. This we will see what it is sometime later. You just now assume that there are functions like this. So for all these, Excel provides predefined functions. I will tell what it is each one. So mean you have to use the function called average. So once you do that again, same way 1 to 5 I select. If I enter, I got the same result 3. For Q1, I have a function called quartile. So here actually two things you can see. One is quartile excluding and including. So this what this means is that whether your data, suppose as per our upgrade material, if you see there we have considered quartiles and percentiles to be excluding the point whichever we are computing. So we will use that alone. So if you go through the material, you can come to know what's the difference between excluding and including. So that's outside our scope. So I will just not tell now. You can go through. If you have some doubts, you can ask in next session. So I will just use that. So quartile excluding I will use. Again, I will select the same ratios. That way I got, okay. It told me that you entered too few arguments. So as we know, we have Q1, Q2, Q3. So that also I need to, if you can see, it will show enter the array as well as which quartile you want. So here I want the first quartile. So I will enter that. So I got 1.5. So if you see manually, the median is the middle 3 here. And one side, my 25% point is actually coming in the middle of these two. So that will be 1.5. So I got the same result here. So like Q3 will be between this and this 4.5. And for to find the median, I can again say use the same quartile dot x same way. But here I have to pass 2. Again, same quartile dot x function I can use. Same array. Here I have to pass 3. So that way I can get Q1 I passed a 2. For Q2 I passed 2. And for Q3 I passed. For median, I can directly use a median function also, which is also will give the same result. Okay, now coming to mode, similar same way. Most of the functions are like similar things only. So there are 2-3 functions defined. I will not go into the details. Okay. So if you what we will get is not applicable. So that is because as we told, only all data points are requiring only once. So I'm not sure if I give 1 here, it should come, I think. Yeah, if I give 1 here, I got the mode as 1. So I got a valid value of mode. When my data is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't have any modes in the data. All data is occurring only once. But suppose I have any 2 values same, that will come as a mode. Suppose 2 4s are there, that will come as a mode. Now to find the variance, I can use the variance. So there is one thing that Rashmi didn't tell that we will tell in later sessions when we see the statistics part. So actually there is 2 concepts like population variance and sample variance. So whatever Rashmi told is population. So we will go that alone. That sample thing we will tell when we are discussing those things. So variation of population, same data, it will give us 2 and that is same as what we computed earlier, right? And we took square root of that to find 1.414. So that way standard deviation also similarly can be defined for population and sample. We will use population here. So okay, okay. So that way I will get. Similarly for min, I have the min function. Same way. Now I am showing an example here with only 5 values. But suppose you have 100 values or 1000 values, you can use the same procedure. I'll show some more things that will be like more useful than this. Once you get familiar with this, that will be more clear. So equal to max I got, and similar to quartile, I can find out the percentile also. Here also like including excluding that thing is there. Now like we told percentile we can find from till 99 points we can find. Suppose I want to find out the 78 point. So I have to first give the array followed by suppose 78th percentile I have to find out. Okay, it will not give it since only 5 points are there. Nah? So maybe I have to use something like 80. Okay, I have to give a value less than 1. So 0.78 I have to give. So that I got as 4.68. So here a percentile takes argument in a range between 0 to 1. So if you want the 90th percentile, you have to give us 0.9. Then kurtosis and skewness we will cover something later, but I will just KURT. You just type whatever first letters, and mostly that formula will be existing. So that will give you kurtosis, and skew will be given by skew. Here also it is different for population sample. So that way. So as you can see, even here it is slightly difficult, right? You have to like manually go through each of these things and then type in the formula. So we will go see one next method which will like simplify this. So what is that? If you can see a sigma sign here. I will just maximize that. So if you can see, there is something called an autosum here. So inside that, actually, if you see, some things are defined: sum, average, count numbers, max, min, and more functions. So in that inside, if you see, there is if, count, max, sign, standard deviation, PMT, like that. Different functions are there. So I can actually, instead of like typing in the actual formula here, I can actually select all these and then directly apply sum. Below the column, it will come as you see. 1 to 5 was my data. Below the column, that autosum sum came. Suppose I want the average, then below that 5 came. So this one is actually including that 50. So suppose I will remove that so as to not to cause confusion. So when I select whatever data I want and I give the average, then I got the average as 3. Then I select the data and I give standard deviation. As we saw, it was there in that more functions, standard deviation. Okay, that time I have to give the range. Okay, okay, I'm not familiar with standard deviation. How to? Okay, I will just see. I have to use here. So standard deviation. Here I have to select the range. Now enter. Okay. Okay, it is not giving correctly. Okay, I actually standard deviation using this I have not done. Okay, maybe it is something like this only. Okay, so this is one other way you can do this. Then the third way is actually something that is more useful, which is what is called a pivot table. So when we go to Pandas also, we will learn what's a pivot table. So to make this a pivot table, you have to first, there is a format as table option here. So you have to first choose something out of this. Anything will do. So I will just choose the first one. Then it will what's the data for your table, and my table has headers or not. You have to select one option. Okay, I think this menu standard are not coming properly. I think. Okay. I'll just see 1 minute. Okay, if you click this format as table, then you can select anyone. Yeah, you will get a table like this, which will ask you where is the data for your table. My table has headers or not, like that. So once you do that, you can see here, like it came like a drop down. So from here also you can do something like sort smallest to largest, largest to smallest, things like that. So once you make this, there will be a like table design will come. So from there again, one column called summarize with pivot table option will come. So with that, you can even write the same thing as AutoSum what we saw. We can actually choose what are the things that I want here. So I can like select what are the options that I want. Column 1 I will choose. Then once I choose, right click, summarize values by. So from here I will get the same options that I saw with AutoSum, count, average, like that. So I can right click. So these things are actually useful when you have like data running into thousands of lines, min, max, product, all those things I can get there. Now comes the most important part and the thing that you will ideally use to find the descriptive thing. So that actually there is an add-in in Microsoft Excel called the data analysis toolkit. Now I will just show you the data tab here. So as you can see, the data tab is almost full, no spaces and all. Like, okay, there is something that I want here which is not here, which is called actually data analysis toolkit. So I'll tell you how you can enable that. So you have to go to File, Options. There you have to go to Add-ins. So here there will be like active application add-ins, nothing is shown. Then inactive application add-ins, something called an analysis toolpack is shown. So I need to actually make it active. So how I can do this is there's at the bottom there's a manage Excel add-ins. So there I have to click go. So once I click that, I will get a checkbox. So there I have to enable an analysis toolpack. And I click OK. Now if you see this data tab in our data sheet, one new data analysis tab came. Okay. So once you click that, you can see that you can actually find many things in that, like descriptive statistics, sampling, like moving average, ANOVA. Like these are all the statistical things that we will study in our any statistics course. Everything, ANOVA, correlation, covariance, descriptive statistics, F-test, Fourier analysis, histogram, moving average, random number, rank and percentile, regression, sampling, t-test, z-test. So maybe A to Z of whatever you learn in a statistics course is part of this. So now since our point of interest is like this thing, which one? Yeah, descriptive statistics, we will go through that alone. So I will just select that and I will click OK. Then it will ask me my input range. So there I have to select whatever is my input. So I will select our same things and then one output range I have to select, or I have to select a new worksheet. So output range I will just give something here. Then once you click OK, we are supposed to select one option here also. I will choose summary statistics. It will give a summary of all my descriptive statistics. Okay. So as you can see here, whatever we did manually in the previous 2-3 examples, everything is computed here. Mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variance, kurtosis, skewness, range, min, max, sum, count. So as you can see, now I will do the full thing in a single go, right? Whatever we did till now, I actually have to do just this. I have to enter my data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have to from data, I have to check data analysis. Then descriptive statistics I have to select. I have to choose my input and output range, summary statistics. OK, so I don't need to do anything else. With just 3 clicks, once you have the data, you get all the statistics. I will tell you one more thing. When you get assignments and all, it will be like big spreadsheets, big data and all. You can directly use this. You need not like manually write formula and all. OK, so that is one thing. So I think with that we will stop. I think you guys can write out. You guys can try out Excel. Even if you don't have a license at working license of Microsoft at home, you can actually log into Office 365. So that is actually the official site. There, even with your Gmail account and all, you can sign in and create an account. There you will get like the default things. So all these features you can use that. Okay, with that, I think we can wind up today's session.